Okay, real quick. So I'm making this video right now in this moment because I just had another clarifying moment, and y'all know I just had to share it with y'all, right? So last night, um, I was on TikTok watching some videos, and there was this girl that suggested this book called, let me see, got it, The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn. So she was listening to it on YouTube. So I went to it to listen to the video last night, and I kind of drifted off when I was listening to it, but I remember hearing a certain part. I actually got up out my sleep to rehear it again. And me and my husband actually got up at the same time, with something we heard, because we had been discussing a certain subject matter. And so it was kind of just shocking to hear that. So I got up today and I started writing down in my notes in my journal about, I wanted to go back to that part to hear what she said. And what she said was, you must prepare for the thing you have asked for when you don't have the slightest sign of it in sight. Now, we know that also is having faith and preparing for whatever you want to happen. But on a deeper level, you have to put yourself in position. You got to put yourself in place for what you want to happen. So you got to be positioned for it. So this is the clarifying moment for me when it all dawned on me, because I wrote this earlier today. So we was out a while ago, and I carry my jug of water with me to drink throughout the day, and so I had to stop to go get some more water. So my son was sitting beside me, and he was finna refill my jug of water for me. But I noticed the way he was sitting, he was unbalanced. He was off balance. He had a straw in his mouth. He had the jug of water on his lap. He had another container of water on his lap. He was finna open the top, and I'm like, hey, you gotta get yourself in position to get the pour it in the jug. You're not in position. Look how you sitting. So he was like, oh, yes, mommy. So then he opens the door, because I'm like, plus I don't want the water falling in here. So he opens the door, and then he's still sitting in the way, and he moved like one thing. And I'm like, Christian, you still not in place. You still got to move some stuff so you can pour the water. So then he turns around, and he puts his legs out, takes the straw out of his mouth. Now he can open the top, and then he's able to do it. And then I'm saying, you see, you just put yourself in a position, in place to be able to pour that water. Because if not, you would have missed. You would have poured some water on the floor. You would have missed the basically. Because then, as I'm saying this, it's starting to regulate in my mind about having yourself prepared, having yourself put in position for what you want to happen. Like, if you want to pour water in this cup and you don't want it to spill, you got to put yourself in place and position. You got to move stuff out of the way. You got to be balanced. You got to be able to receive what it is that you want by putting yourself in position. So that thing right there had dawned on me, and I stopped talking to him and was like, wow. And he was like, I could explain it, but it was just a clarification that was given to me to understand just in that little moment with him, for me to see that. So that's why I'm sharing that with you. Whatever you want to happen in your life, you got to put yourself in position. You got to be prepared for it, even when you can't see it. Another story I can share with you real quick is, before I moved to my house, I heard and had this vision. Matter of fact, it wasn't even a dream. It was a vision I had in a snap moment, that I was going to be moving in 6 months. And I didn't want to share it with my husband, because at that time I wasn't comfortable. I didn't really know, I didn't understand the God aspect of how, you get communication from God and what you're hearing. And sometimes it's hard to tell if it's you, but this just came to me. This was something out of nowhere, out of the blue. While I'm sitting here just watching TV, I hear this. I'm not even watching a show about houses. I'm watching cartoons. It just came. So I knew this wasn't me. This was a higher. This was given to me from, the higher heights for me to hear. So I told my husband, and from that day, I said, I heard we're going to be moving. And I didn't know why would we be moving, because like we were satisfied with where we was at. What we was paying, it wasn't bad. It wasn't, we did need something bigger, but it wasn't that much of a desire. So my husband was like, well, if you had this vision, and you heard this, then we should act on it. And I'm gonna tell y'all, my husband really built my faith, because he had more faith than me when I started out in this relationship. When it comes to having faith in God, I really didn't fully grasp the concept and the idea, but we've been through so many things together that I understand it fully to this extent. But at that time, my husband was the very strong one in showing me and teaching me and guiding me about what having faith really is, which is what this is saying: preparing for the things that you ask for, even when you have the slightest sight, when it's not even in your sight. So we started to break things down. We started putting stuff in boxes. And yes, I had certain items boxed up in my house for 6 months, not knowing. And then we started the process of looking for places, but nothing was coming in. And there was times I felt crazy. We was riding around looking for places, and it felt crazy. But I literally had that in I forgot what month it was. All I know is the first day of June, which was the 6 months of the next year, we was in that house, that big house, because we had already prepared and put ourselves in position. I had been boxing stuff. I had started buying stuff for this new house. All my intention and all my focus was preparing me for what I was waiting to receive. So if there are certain things, and I didn't even mean for this video to be that long, but if there are certain things that you are wanting for, how are you positioning yourself? I did another video a while back when I was talking about what your thoughts are telling you before you actually do something. But now this is on another level. This is, what are you doing to prepare to receive what you want? Are you going to school? Are you taking any steps? Because you can't keep asking for stuff if you're not preparing yourself for it. You won't be able to handle it. You got to prepare for what you can't see. See, it all starts with the vision. The vision. What do you foresee? So what are you doing in preparation to get to that vision? Because God is going to be there to help you. All you have to do is ask for these doors to be open. So in order for these doors to get open, you got to be putting yourself in position. You got to meet him 50-50. You got to do half the work. Yes, he's almighty. God can do, you can trust that he can do anything. But you got to be willing to show as well what you're willing to do to get in that position, because nobody gonna make you a manager and you ain't even learning how to manage your own feelings and your own emotions. And if you do become a manager off the strength of your qualifications and skills, how long do you think that manager position will last for you? Will people respect you? Will you be tormented with people? You get what I'm saying? It's just many ways that could go. But I don't want to get off subject, like I said. It's going on 10 minutes, and I only mean this to be real quick. So we're going to leave this real quick. Like I said, put yourself in position for what it is you want today. That's it. Boom. Period. All right, y'all.